I'll see you in the land of Mordor. Death awaits you at the border. Pass on through the gates of fun, destroy the ring of power and wonder.
Hey Lord of the Rings strategy battle game fans, welcome back to the channel, as well as all you Lord of the Rings fans in general. Today we're looking at my Army of the Dead. As you can see, I have a small collection of warriors from the dead, nothing special. I'm missing the King's Herald and Bannermen, plus the Cavalry of the Dead, or the Horsemen of the Dead. Still haven't got around to getting that. I've got them bursting out of the mountain, so to speak. And then I also have in front of me what's supposed to represent the Dor-en-Irnil. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's E-R-E-C-H. Could be Erech or Erech or Aerith. Can never get Tolkien pronunciation right to save my life. But it's Dor-en-Irnil is when Aragorn faced the warriors of the dead, or the army of the dead, and asked them to fulfill their oaths before the black stone. So I don't exactly have a black stone. Instead, what I'm using is a chunk of amethyst that I found in a farmer's field while destoning the field. Anyone knows what destoning a field means? It means you walk in a field every spring and you start picking up rocks and throwing them on a wagon. And I found this in a farmer's field. Not a bad find when you're 13, 14 years old. So we're going to use that for my Stone of Erech. Because that's part of the story, and Peter Jackson never went into it, which kind of sucked. I would love to have seen that scene where Aragorn with Gimli and Legolas, the Rangers of the North, and the sons of Elrond stop at the Dor-en-Irnil and they confront the army of the dead, who you never really see. They're just kind of shadows in the background, but they surround the company, and kind of you hear the whispers and the murmurs, and Aragorn asks them to help him, or commands them to help them fulfill their oaths that they broke long ago. It's a very interesting story, and it's too bad Peter Jackson never really explored that well. He kind of did it quickly. The whole Pass of the Dead scene was just Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. Completely took out Halbarad, the kinsman of Aragorn, and the Rangers of the North, because it didn't fit in with the story he was telling. And the sons of Elrond never come in either, which kind of really sucked. But you got too many characters to explain anyway. I don't like it how they did in the Peter Jackson movie where Aragorn begged them to fight, try to get them to fight, and the King of the Dead was just laughing. And they have a scene where the King of the Dead throws a sword and Aragorn blocks it with his sword and then grabs the guy by the throat. That never happens. So I was kind of disappointed in that scene. Though I do like the layout for the City of the Dead, and the rolling skulls was kind of funny. And then where Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli came out was right next to Pelargir, the haven of southern Gondor. It's no, that's miles away. In reality, the Grey Company were on horseback, and once they cleared the Pass of the Dead, they got back on their horses and rode for Dor-en-Irnil, which is the black stone that Isildur supposedly had put there, and him and the people of the Dales, who were related to the Dunlendings, swore an oath to help defend Gondor against Sauron. When time came for the oath to be fulfilled, they backed out and hid in the mountains, and Isildur cursed them, and that curse lives on until the War of the Ring. And then Aragorn and the Grey Company get on their horses. They ride all the way down to Linhur, so they ride all the way through Lamadan, down Tarlang's Neck, into Belfalis, until they come to the fords at Linhur, where Angbor the Fearless and the soldiers of southern Gondor are fighting the Haradrim and the Corsairs of Umbar. The Fear of the Dead win the battle, and the Corsairs and Haradrim flee eastward back to Pelargir. Aragorn bids Angbor to gather what he can to follow him, and then him and the Grey Company and the Army of the Dead rush off to Pelargir, and they rout the Corsairs and the Haradrim. The Army of the Dead does. And Aragorn manages to take the Black Fleet with their help. After that, Aragorn releases the Army of the Dead. They never appear in the Battle of Pelennor Fields, which is another mistake that Peter Jackson made. Or he gave them way too much of a role than they actually had. It would have been better if... I always said that Peter Jackson should have kept the theatrical release, as is, But then in the extended versions, go and put all those elements that were missed and correct what mistakes he did make. It would have made a much better film. Longer though. Alright, so my Warriors of the Dead that I have. The first one I got was a box set of Warriors of the Dead. I paid $29.75 Canadian at Games Workshop. Now it's Warhammer. And you only get 10 Warriors of the Dead in the box set. They're all plastic. But they all come in different poses, which was nice. Now, I tried to make mine like the movie at the time. So I gave them a ghastly green glow. As you see from this figure. I used a green wash to give that effect. I wasn't totally happy with it. I wanted something more ethereal and something more like the book, which doesn't really give them a color, only is dark shapes. Green doesn't exactly equate with dark. So I wasn't totally happy with how I painted them. And then I also got a blister pack from Fan of the Sport. Paid $10 for it. It came with 3 metal Warriors of the Dead, and I painted them the same way as I painted the other ones. Again, tried different techniques, never totally satisfied. And then finally, with the Battle of Pelennor Fields box set, you get 20 Warriors of the Dead. So I have 33 altogether, which makes a sizable army. Be nice to have more. I would like to get the King's Banners, the King of the Dead, and also the Rider of the Dead. A couple of those would be cool. But the ones from Pelennor Fields are all plastic, just like the box set. So there's 10 poses. You get them; they're duplicate twice. This time I just left them as gray. I think I used Fenian gray, as well as another gray, but didn't wash them with anything else. I thought about it, tried different things with them too, and nothing quite worked out what I want. So I never got the look I wanted. So a little bit of a close-up of what they look like and how my paint job went. I'm not a great painter by any stretch of the imagination. I don't claim to be. I'm just a guy who just wants to paint it just to make it look reasonable from 8 feet out. And I used to have these styrofoam blocks I painted gray to make it look like a mountain. And I remember taking pictures when I first painted them, and they look really cool. They did. Coming out of this door here. From an aquarium piece. I really like the idea of the Stone of Erech. I wish Peter Jackson had included that in his movie. The whole idea of the black stone would have been really good and would have explained better the whole idea of the Oathbreakers. And I would have loved to have seen Halbarad and the Grey Company, as well as the Sons of Elrond. We can't always get everything. So that is my Army of the Dead, incomplete as it is. All you Lord of the Rings strategy battle game fans, let me know if you guys have any of these guys. And have you ever played them in a tournament? I never used them in a tournament. I didn't see anyone else use them in the 2 tournaments I went into. Well, I've heard other people have used them. They'd be pretty hard to kill, I would imagine. They wouldn't affect the Nazgul. A Nazgul would probably kill them, but against orcs, and had they showed up at the Battle of Pelennor Fields, they definitely would have turned the tide. But I like the fact that it was more Aragorn, the Grey Company, and the men of Southern Gondor who took over, who once the fleet was secured, came in and helped save Gondor. That's what should have happened, instead of the Army of the Dead showing up. I thought it was kind of stupid that all these boats show up and it's only Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli on the boat, instead of Halbarad, the Sons of Elrond, the Grey Company and as many men that Angbor could find who came up with him from to Pelargir. I hope Warhammer does release a Battle of Pelargir set. That'd be kind of cool. Or a Battle of Linhur set. I think they're going to move towards the Arnor and do an Arnorian campaign from what I've seen from new releases. So like I said, anyone who's ever played with the Army of the Dead, let me know how it went. Leave comments in the comment section. Until next time, I'm Roman Daisel. I am out of here.